Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Dark Side of the Word. I'm here with my lovely co-host, CJ.
Hello, everybody.
Today is our recap episode, so we're going to talk about all the content that we consumed from books, movies, television shows, podcasts. I don't know. It's content. It's going to be talked about. I know I have a lot of content to talk about, CJ, because we kind of didn't recap for a month and a half, 2 months. I don't know. We have all of December and part of November to recap. I don't know about you. Do you have a lot?
I should have a lot, but I was a bad podcast co-host, and I forgot to write notes about what I was watching and reading and listening to. So I have some, but probably not as much as I should. But it will come back to me over the months, and I'm just going to space it out over 2024.
Well, listeners, let's not tell CJ that I wrote all my notes this morning.
Okay. Well, at least there are notes this time, so that's good.
I'm gonna sound like a blubbering idiot, going that as my other podcast that I listen to says, I liked it because I liked it. That's my recap, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week.
Just I love kidding. It sums it up, though. It really does. I liked it because I liked it. What more do you need?
I don't know. I mean, so my recap is going to be interesting because I told everyone that I was going to read romance books for December and I was going to do a mini challenge, but instead I got sucked into a 10-day read-a-thon of Iron Flame. We're going to talk about that. But what did you read? Let's start with what did you read?
All right, I'm going to talk about 2 books. So the first one, I read Verity by Colleen Hoover, and this is my first. Oh, so have you read it?
No, but isn't that one with the squigglies on the front and a feet coming out of the squigglies?
Well, I have a cover. I have a collector's edition. I did not buy the collector's edition. That was when it was at the library. So it's like a gold collector's edition. So I don't know what the cover is, but this is the one that everybody's talking about because it's really, really intense.
Is it like the girl shows up to write someone's past?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Okay.
It's on my list to read, but all this Colleen Hoover stuff with her her series that's being made into a movie or show.
I didn't even know about that. Okay.
Wait, whoa.
So this is my first Colleen. Yeah, this is my first Colleen Hoover book, and probably gonna be my last because I didn't really love it. But I know that she's a huge writer. She has a huge following, very, very intense. And normally she writes a lot of love stories or romance or things like that.
So It Ends With Us is becoming a movie or show. I don't remember Blake Lively's in it.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, and all this stuff. But I think I might have to steer away because it deals with a lot of spousal or abuse.
Oh, okay.
Abuse? Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I've heard there's quite a few changes from the movie in the book because in the book they're very young and that plays into how the manipulation and abuse happens, but Blake Lively's in it. They upped it, the age.
Is that the book where they were going to have the coloring book come out and she canceled it at the last moment?
Yes.
Okay, because people were like, how can you have a coloring book about domestic abuse? And I don't think it was pictures of domestic abuse, but something was off with the concept, so.
You started with her not as famous? I don't know. You started with an interesting book for her.
I did, and it's apparently quite the deviation for Coho to be writing. And I wouldn't say it was awful. I read it in about 2 days. I kept going back to it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It has a very interesting premise, and I think it's decently executed. There's lots of twists and turns, but I picked it up because a lot of people are talking about it and are so shocked by it. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I will give a trigger warning. It contains a lot of dark shit involving child and infant abuse, very specifically. So if that's a big trigger for you, if you don't like seeing or hearing about children being hurt, not that anybody actually does, but you know what I mean, then you should avoid this book because it will upset you. It was very interesting. I plan to do a full review on wellreadtart.com in a few months, so I won't get into too much here. But it was very dark. It was engrossing. It was interesting. And there was a lot of sex in this book that I was not expecting. But not good sex, not sexy sex. Just kind of, how do I say this? Bored, horny housewife sex? Kind of like a la 50 Shades of Grey. And interestingly, Coho thanks E.L. James, author of 50 Shades of Grey, in her acknowledgments and says she's an inspiration. Which, there you go. Read into that what you will. So it was a quick read I needed during the holiday season because I ran out of my Christmas rom-coms. I needed something to keep me occupied. It worked. I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you are looking for dark, that is fucking dark shit. So just saying, Verity by Colleen Hoover, dark. Okay.
I don't know. I might still give it a try because, I'm reading, what is it? The Dead Take the A Train, which you told me to stay far, far away from. And
is that Cassandra Claw?
With it. Yeah.
I'm
in love with it. It is so Ninth House vibes. Friends, if you want more Ninth House, like dark, crazy lead character, like crap. What was her name? Alex, right? Alex is the lead in Ninth House.
Sure.
Or if you want like another protagonist like her, excellent. It's dark, it's gritty, it's hilarious. It's badass.
Is it a novella or is it a novel?
No, it's a novel. It's a series. This is book 1.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
It's good.
I will not try it because 1, I hated Cassandra Claw's other book, Nothing But Black and Teeth, and 2, we all know how much I love Ninth House, so this is not for me.
I would not recommend it for you because I'm just like, this is legit like Ninth House. It's Ninth House mixed with A Deadly Education, and those are neither one books I would ever recommend to you.
Okay, noted. I haven't even heard of A Deadly Education. So.
It is so good. Have you heard of Uprooted or Spinning Silver?
Yes, by Naomi
Novak. Same author.
Oh, okay. I have friends who really like her stuff and her dragon books. My husband reads her dragon books.
I didn't know she had dragon books.
Temeraire series, I think it is. Dragon books. That's a fancy face you're making there. Dragon books.
I'm a little obsessed with the dragon books, if no one noticed. Anyway, you had another book. I sidetracked you. Continue, friends.
Other book is one that I absolutely loved. It is called A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand.
Wait. I think I've heard of this book. Continue.
It is a modern retelling of Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. So this is A Haunting on the Hill. It's very confusing with the titles. I've never read The Haunting of Hill House, but I actually really want to read it now because I loved A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand so much. It was supposed to be one of my Halloween reads, but it didn't come in time, so I ended up reading it in November, and it was so worth the wait. I love this book. I consumed it. It is beautifully written. It's so engrossing. The characters are so full of life. It's creepy and eerie and unsettling and lots of atmosphere, and it's just a pretty damn near perfect haunted house story. I loved it. I cannot recommend this one enough. It's a little slow, a little gothic, but if you like that style, you should definitely give it a try.
I saw this book and I was going to recommend it for the podcast, so thanks.
Sorry. We can still do it. I've read it. I'll be ahead of it.
You just talked about how you felt about it.
Oh. Never mind.
I'm going to read it. I will add it to my October reads. Because I need to start building that list, now.
I know, really. You do. I always start building it, the minute October is over for the next year.
I think I want to say I already have, 5 books on the list.
Never too many books.
But that's kind of what do I want to wait on, and what do I want to read now? Because I like reading dark books. I've started now going straight to the horror section at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. I feel like I'm continuously disappointed by a lot of books these days, but not by horror as much. There's a lot of new and exciting ideas happening with horror that aren't happening in, say, thrillers or rom-coms or even literary fiction, and horror is just where I'm at. Do you follow Mother Horror on Instagram?
No.
You should follow her.
Maybe. I might.
She has fantastic recommendations.
Well, dude, no competition.
On Instagram.
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Not as much as she is.
Oh, thanks. That is a direct jab to me.
No.
God damn you, CJ.
She will give us good ideas, and she gets really good advanced copies and stuff. So we'll have a year ahead to plan. So this is good. This is good marketing for us.
Maybe we can get her on the podcast one day or something.
Oh, that would be a dream come true. Stephen King shouted out to her.
Well, I still feel like she'd be easier than some of the authors I'd like to try.
All right. Speaking of authors you like to try, what books have you read, miss?
Oh, gosh. Okay. No, I had something to say about you saying that the genres are oversaturated.
Oh,
and I do feel that romance and mystery thrillers are extremely oversaturated because that's all anybody's written. But horror is the budding new genre where people can really explore it. And cozy horror is a thing. It doesn't all have to be dark and gross.
It's a good thing we're both writing stories that kind of delve into that genre a little bit, isn't it?
Kind of. My book right now is like, it's horror. Okay.
Well, I have only read 2 chapters, so I cannot make that distinction.
Excuse me, you've read 4.
But they read like 2 because they were so swift and so beautiful.
I think you find out for you. Okay, so the infamous Iron Flame. For those that have been under a rock, because I don't know how you could be. I mean, the normies are reading this book. People who don't read fantasy are picking up this series. Okay, Iron Flame is the sequel to Fourth Wing. Okay, and it came out, and I got my hands on it. Not like Fourth Wing, which took me forever. And holy shit, was this a long book. It was 100 pages longer than Fourth Wing. Okay?
It's like 800 pages, right? This one?
No, it was 600 and something.
Oh, okay.
But it took me a freaking 10 days to read it, which is a very long time for me to read any book, okay? I should have honestly had it done in 6, okay? Anywho, I loved it.
Really?
In some ways, I feel like I liked it more than the first book. In other ways, I didn't. I really appreciated it because I expected it to follow like a formula of Harry Potter. This is not a spoiler because it's pretty obvious from like the first chapter of book 1, but essentially she goes to a dragon riding school. Okay, so as you see it going, you know there's so many years of having to be in the school and stuff, and so I thought it was gonna follow like a formulaic like Harry Potter kind of thing, but it doesn't, which made me love it even more. Also, I did not expect the ending, and you know I am the foreshadowing queen of catching endings, and that ending came, and I had no one to talk to about it, and I was pissed. Because my friend who's supposed to be reading it right now, I know you're listening, and you know I'm talking about you, okay?
It's not me, just so you know.
I think your husband might like it.
If there's dragons, he probably might like it.
It's really good. I think it's unique. It has like some story plots and lines that we like, but it's still really unique. It has great characters. There's some great love in it. But I would just say Yara's did a great job foreshadowing because I did not catch the ending.
Oh.
And even though the story took me forever to read and it was really long, it was not boring. It was not because it lagged. It was just extremely dense. She does not lack in world building in this world. Okay. And sometimes that did make it hard because I'm horrible at names. So when she's throwing around all these like crazy names of Brennan and Vermin and blah, 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 I'm just like, what are we talking about? Give me like a little thing here. I wouldn't mind like a glossary for this book.
You should make a character map for every book that you do that you have trouble with. A lot of people do that, and it really helps them. There's no shame. There's no shame. Admitting that you have a problem is the first key toward getting over it.
No, I'm too lazy. Like, it's hard enough for me to freaking, like, write a review for a book. Now you want me to character map this bullshit?
That's true. That is asking a lot of you. Okay. You made your notes for this podcast this morning, so yes, I see your point.
Anyway, highly recommend Iron Flames. I'm really excited about this series. I don't know when the 3rd book's coming out, which is making me pissed. But anyway. So that took me forever and consumed most of my December. But I did happen to get 2 romance books. And one was Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison, which was my Christmas rom-com because I try to read one every Christmas. It was adorable. Extremely sexy Bernie. Like, oof, so good. It was like friends to lovers. It was extremely realistic in like a really enjoyable way. And it was fucking adorable because she essentially buys her dream Christmas tree farm.
Oh, I love that.
And she has like 2 people that are helping with her. She has like the farmer who does like the growing, and she has like this baker, and it is adorable, and you just want to fucking wish that this place was real. So it was the best like consuming romance book. And I do not rate romance books very high, and I rated this one quite high. I either gave it a 4 out of 5, and I never do that for romance books, okay? So I highly recommend it. I already ordered her 2nd book, which is not a Christmas book, but it deals with another character from the book. So it's like a continuation, and I'm super excited to hear this person's story because they're amazing in the first book. And I also read this very interesting book called Morbidly Yours.
Is that the title?
Yes, Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. And essentially, okay, first off, it's based in Ireland.
Oh, I like it already.
And it is essentially... The first chapter begins with this girl who's an animated artist, like, throws everything of her life in America away and moves to Ireland to work on an animation studio for a feature film. And she opens a box thinking it's hers from America, and she finds body bags in it and realizes it is addressed to the funeral home next door.
Like, there's actual body parts in the body bag that she finds?
No, they're just the body bags. Like, he ordered body bags for his bodies.
That's less exciting.
Anyway, it wasn't that good. Don't get excited.
Oh, I'm like looking it up right now on Goodreads.
It was very slow. Okay.
Oh.
The sex was... Okay, I said Love Light Farms was intense. Morbidly Yours was way more intense.
Morticians, man. Who knew?
Oh, Morticians are... Whew.
Oh,
Anyway,
the kinky fucks, huh?
it's just kind of boring.
Really?
It's like, it was too much of a slice of life in a boring way. Where you're just like, okay, I know where this is going to end. There was nothing like, will they, won't they? Like, it's just too in your face, too boring. The one, like, exciting factor that makes you... I gave it 3 stars. So it's not like I hated reading. You might like it. But it was just like, I wouldn't recommend it. But I was super drawn to it because of all, like, okay, Mortician, Ireland.
Yeah, that
the
sounds
title.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's all I achieved.
So the last one's like, brilliant idea, poorly executed. Or not well executed, at least. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Yep, I was sad. But I'm going to ask you a hard question now, CJ.
I don't like hard questions. They remind me of math.
You know what? I didn't highlight this when I sent you today's show notes.
Okay,
So
I'm ready.
This is going to be on the cuff.
Off
Are
the
you
cuff.
ready? Are you ready?
Maybe, I don't know.
Favorite book of the last year?
God damn it. God damn it. September House. It was the spooky one by Carissa Orlando, I think.
I don't remember. That was, okay.
I talked about it during a podcast.
Yes, you did. I remember talking about it.
It's the one where the woman lives in this house that's haunted all year long, but September it goes like batshit crazy.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. What about you?
So I'm actually tied. Because I did look over my list.
You've had time to think about this question,
I know, I'm sorry. I looked over my 5-star reads. I'm sorry. Okay. So I am actually tied. No shock. To the Fourth Wing series. And surprisingly, Skyward.
What's Skyward?
Skyward is a sci-fi book I read for my IRL book club a bit ago. And I binged the first 3 books that are released. And the 4th book just came out, so I'm going to go get it. But I really loved it and thought it was a shit ton of fun.
Okay.
So, I know. Now, I know that we are very excited to talk about our shows and movies that we consume, but before we do that, I just want to let you guys know that today's episode is sponsored by a well-bred tart and my barking dog. Hush yourself.
Love it.
Are you tired of the book hangover and wish that you could live in the story a little longer? Do you like to cook or bake? Well, it's time for you to check out A Well-Read Tart, the blog where you can read book reviews and find delicious recipes inspired by each story. Whether it's a decadent dessert or a scrumptious dinner, you'll be able to relive your favorite book all over again. Visit the blog to search for a recipe you'll love, then check out its corresponding book review. Or you can read CJ's thoughts on the new bestseller you've been eyeing up, then click on the recipe inspired by that story. Either way, visit wellreadtart.com or our show notes and let a well-read tart inspire you in the kitchen and the library. Also, I just want to talk to you guys about developmental editing. It is a huge part of the book publishing process. It helps your story be fully fleshed out, checks for story and character arcs, catches story errors that you may have missed, and polishes your story so that the readers will rave about your plot. Many self-published writers skip this step because they don't understand how vital it is or the exorbitant prices turn them away. However, this is an important step that all traditionally published authors must go through and can't be skipped. I've reviewed many books for self-published authors that would have been amazing if they had been able to get their books developmentally edited, which is why I wanted to help this year. After developmentally editing for years, I've decided to make my services more affordable by starting them at $1,000. Full details of my services are available on my developmental editing page on darksideoftheword.com or use the link below in the show notes. Woohoo!
I would like to amend my earlier statement of favorite book of 2023.
Oh no.
Because as the ads were running, I was looking through my Goodreads to see what books I read because I was not as caught off guard now. And I would like to add to it, I also really loved Horse by Geraldine Brooks.
Oh yeah, you did like that one.
And one called, where is it? Morning in This Broken World by Katrina Kittle. Amazing. Amazing.
What was morning in the blah, blah, blah?
Morning in This Broken World. Like morning, afternoon, night. Morning in This Broken World.
Okay. What genre would you say that is?
Contemporary. It has like a lot of A Man Called Ove vibes and House of Cerulean Sea vibes. Like no magical realism, but about found family. It takes place during COVID. It's sad. I think I cried through the entire book, but it was worth every single page. I loved it. My review is going to be coming up on the blog in February or March, I think, with a recipe. But yeah, just to give you a little preview, I highly recommend that one. I gave it all the stars.
Also, we need to talk about this exciting news that you shared with me like a day or two ago about the fact that there's going to be a sequel to The House on the Cerulean Sea. Like, whoa. I can't. I'm so, like, most anticipated book of the year now. Even if Iron Flame comes out with the next book. No.
I'm excited to see what Lucy gets up to in the second book because he was my favorite.
I'm so excited.
That's a great book.
The fucking, was it? Satan is in the book, and it's the happiest book you've ever read.
Seriously. It's a feel-good satanic book. It's just wonderful.
This is how you write a cozy horror.
Yes. Yes. I wouldn't even call it horror. It was more magical realism than horror.
I'm sorry, but anytime Satan is mentioned in a book as a character, it is horror.
But he was like light Satan, like Satan light.
Antichrist.
Barely an antichrist. He was afraid of spiders.
It's horror. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
All right. Now we get to move to our digital part of the podcast. And we get to talk about our favorite movies and television shows that we have consumed. And I'm not going to talk about all the Christmas movies I watched.
Yeah, neither am I. Because
all I'm going to say is I was extremely disappointed in Candy Cane Lane. And I shake my head at Eddie Murphy. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. That was not good.
I didn't know there was one called Candy Cane Lane. Yes. Should I not watch it?
No.
Okay. No Spirited, huh?
No.
Oh, Spirited. Just
and it was Eddie
Good afternoon.
Murphy.
Sorry.
Oh, my God, I love Spirited. And Eddie Murphy was in it, so I was like, this should be good. It looked like the whole thing was AI. No, not good. Not good at all. Anywho's, begin.
Okay, all right. I will begin on the spot. All right. So I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about this in the last content recommendation episode.
Rolling up my memory.
To it.
All right, let me
so
check.
we talked about the movie wanting to see Talk to Me. And
yes,
I know,
wait.
Kate, I talked to you individually about Talk to Me. But
Well,
I don't think I talked to everybody.
Let's refresh for people.
Okay, so in case people didn't pick up on this, I watched Talk to Me. And it is about you touch this dead, mummified hand, you say certain words, and then a ghost appears.
Dude,
I thought it was
like kind of a mold, like cast of a hand.
It's like a dead psychic's hand. It's like I don't know if it's mummified, but it's like it is a hand, but it's no longer like fleshy.
I thought it was stone the whole time.
Well, if that makes you feel better, go think it's stone. But it's a hand, and you touch it, and you say words, and a ghost appears, and then you say a few more words, and the ghost jumps into your body, and then the ghost takes possession of you, and it can be funny, it can be creepy, it can be lots of things, but you're not supposed to keep the ghost in you for more than 90 seconds, or you risk not being able to get a control back of your own body. So, of course, someone lets the ghost visit a little too long, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Really?
Right?
Sorry.
And this is fucking intense. It is so good. It's really creepy, really scary. It is also way gorier than I thought it would be. I'm just going to say 2 words. Ocular trauma.
Yeah.
And you're going to, pardon the pun, you're going to see it coming, so no one to look away. And I watched a lot of this movie with between splayed fingers because there was a lot of goriness and a lot of gross body things. But overall, the movie was really well done. It deals with a lot of tough issues while building in a lot of different horror aspects, and I really liked it. So if you're looking for a good old-fashioned, scary, witty, sharp horror movie, give Talk to Me a try. I loved it.
I also want to add in that if anyone's watched the trailers, the dog is fine.
Oh, yes, the dog is fine. Absolutely, totally
fine.
100% fine. No animals hurt, so that's good.
But also, if you guys can't handle grossy, gory horror, do not watch Renfield.
Renfield.
It's the Nicolas Cage movie about Renfield from the Dracula stories.
Okay.
Quite funny, but horribly gory.
Okay, noted. Probably why I also can't watch Repo Man, because I hear that's really gory too.
I don't know. Have you heard of the movie Totally Killer that just came out on Amazon?
No, I haven't.
Because it looks hilarious. It's more of a comedy. But my friend watched it and she loved it, and I'm going to try to watch it ASAP.
Okay, you have to let us know how it is.
I will. Next content recap. I should have it done by then.
Okay. And the other thing I watched that was also dark, but a very different type of dark, was a documentary, actually, on Max called Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God.
Oh, okay, wait, there's one on Max and Netflix?
Is there one on Netflix?
Yes, that's where I saw it.
This is a 3-hour one. I don't know if it's the same thing. It's a 3-hour, like 3-part documentary. Each part is an hour. It is bonkers.
Wait,
this woman was bonkers.
I literally just heard someone was just talking about it on another podcast.
Okay,
and I want to start it tonight. Don't spoil it. I want to start it tonight.
I won't spoil it. But for anybody who's wondering, it is about a woman who felt called by the universe to tell everybody that she basically was Mother God, basically God on earth. And she left her children to basically start what ended up being a cult. She would pick a guy to be her father god, and basically he would just be her concubine or flavor of the month. And they would spread messages of healing and love and positivity to the world through websites and then videos. And at first, that doesn't sound so bad, but she convinced a lot of people that she was actually God on earth. And people left their homes and their families to live with her in her compound. And of course, people gave her money. And of course, there was a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, and a lot of peddling something that they basically, I think it was just silver and water, and told people that they should drink it for their well-being. And when she died, this is not a spoiler, when she died, her people kept her body at their house waiting for her to come back into it. So it was really crazy. Apparently this woman got on Dr. Phil at some point, expecting her message to get out to a lot of people, and it kind of backfired. The documentary, like I said, is 3 hours long, but it is fascinating and interviews people who were in the cult with her. And while some are like, yeah, following her wasn't my finest moment, others are still really into whatever Mother God was talking about. It's a little creepy, and a lot of sad, but it's dark and it's interesting. And if you're looking to kill 3 hours when you have COVID, like I did this month or last month, then there you go. There's something to watch.
And I take it all back. You are correct. It is only on Max. I was getting it confused with the myriad of,
No problem. It happens. There's so many things on so many services. So it is Love is One on Max.
I'm kind of obsessed with documentaries about cults.
I'm so obsessed with my thing. Cults. I find them fascinating.
It used to be on a Hulu. I don't know where it is now, but they used to have one called The Deep End.
Oh.
And it was about another cult leader. And she essentially, you find out as you're watching it, which is not a big spoiler or anything, but she had hired a private investigator and actually asked this documentary team to come in to kind of essentially prove that everything she's doing was legit and fine. And in the end, they end up proving the opposite.
Oh, oopsies.
And so as it was airing, she was going out and completely blasting them on her channels and stuff. It's quite fun, but very good, but also very fucked up as well. Another cult. Thing. But yeah, I actually want to start that documentary tonight because I just heard people talking about it. Yeah. And again, it's a cult.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely interesting.
I don't know why. Cults are just, I think it's the psychology of it.
The fact that one person is so charismatic enough to get people to do whatever it is they say just astounds me. How one person can have that pull,
Exactly.
I don't know. Give it a try. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
Right, those are my things.
Okay.
Those are my things for this month. I'm gonna leave the rest for later this year.
Okay.
Prepare yourselves.
So technically, I have 4 digital things to talk about.
Oh.
So first off, in case no one was aware, I restarted my watch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
Woo!
I know. CJ is so excited. I've been kind of texting her about stuff, which something crazy just happened and I almost texted you about today, but I'm waiting to see the result of it.
What happened? You have to tell me what part
I'm gonna tell you after. I don't want to spoil it for everyone else.
I mean, it's 20 years old, man.
Okay, Buffy's mom just died.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite episodes. That speech
it's the worst.
That speech Anya makes is just one of the best moments on that show. Moving on.
Anywho, so I got back into watching it because I did leave a break. So I'm watching them back to back, kind of like they premiered in real life, because definitely you can see how they interweave back and forth, and you have to know what's going on in one before you've watched the next one. I still love the world and the characters, but I have to say that since Buffy left her high school years, I'm not a fan as much.
It loses something. So
yes,
there were a lot of books when Buffy was in the high school years that came out about what would Buffy do, and there were Buffy studies at universities and courses, and there was another book, I think it was called the Buffy Files, which was really good, because people thought she was such an excellent role model. And then as she got into college and then whatever comes after that, she kind of falls from grace, I guess, and a lot of those books stopped coming out. So you were not the only one to feel that way. It is a very different side of her.
I wouldn't even say it's like her fall from grace and her change. It's just the writing, the plots, the main plots of what they like have to overcome and do and stuff is just not as cohesive and tight and exciting. Like, I really felt the previous season, our first year in college, was just all over the place, and I didn't really know where we were going, and I'm just like, what's the point? And I have to say, my favorite season was the one where Spike first appeared. Literally, hands down,
Season
the best.
2.
Yes, season 2 then.
Season 2 is my favorite as well.
Yeah. Spike is literally my favorite character as well. And so I do appreciate that he's making more of an appearance in these later seasons, but I just don't think that they're doing a good job with the plot. And they're all over the place. And they just add things in to try to explain things away.
Cannot wait to see what you think of season 6 and 7, because I pretend season 7 does not exist. A lot of good hardcore Buffy fans will pretend season 7 does not exist.
Well, I'm going to have to watch it. And it's the same with Angel. I thought that season 1 was very well done. It had a good backbone. It had a great plot. It really had the character dynamics. And now Angel's off on his own, and it's just like, what was the point of watching this? Because this is completely deviating from the very essence of why Angel was created, the series. And it's just, I just feel like we're magically just having this character show up and that character show up, and nothing is coming together in a cohesive manner, and it's very annoying.
One of the reasons that both those shows toward the end of the last few seasons kind of tapered off in being as good is that Joss Whedon was working on a lot of other projects at the time, and Buffy in particular suffered, and I imagine Angel did as well. He was working on the space western one, Firefly. That was a big focus for him at the time.
Oh, that came out at the same time? I thought that came
like
out
a little bit afterward.
Okay, well, Firefly got shit on, and I can't talk about that.
I'm not a huge Firefly fan. I know.
How?
It is because you will watch season 7 of Buffy. That is where I first saw Nathan Fillion. And you will see why I cannot see Nathan Fillion in any other role, because he is what I first saw him in season 7 of Buffy. And having him be in Firefly just ruined it for me. I couldn't get into it.
Sucks. Because honestly, Firefly I think is one of my favorite shows of all time. I can like quote it, I can quote the movie, and honestly I think it's like the best writing.
My husband loves
your
that
sudden
movie.
but inevitable betrayal.
Yeah, I also don't like westerns, and I don't like space, so
I also hate westerns, but I love space.
I like Doctor Who. That's about as spacey as I can.
Oh, yeah, I can see that totally failing for you.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that. It's been interesting. I do say that it's been fun. Like, I'm not mad at it. It's a good binge. I have so many old television shows I wasn't allowed to watch that I need to watch now. So
yeah.
Then I also watched The Boy and the Heron, which is how I always butcher his name. It's the new Studio Ghibli film. Hayao Miyazaki. Don't come at me. I know I'm probably saying it wrong.
Is it anime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, have you heard of Spirited Away?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Same person. But anyway, he was supposed to have his last movie like 10, 13 something years ago. That was his goodbye movie, and then he just like decided to pop up and make another one. And this is definitely his retirement film. He has issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not like you watch this and you go, this is a man struggling at the end of his life. And I feel bad saying it. But you watch it and you're just like, you have a problem getting old and letting go of your empire. I can see this. It's literally bold right in the movie. It is so bad. And I got a little upset because I felt like he regurgitated some of his characters in animation, because if you watch it and you watch his other work, it's literally copy and paste from a different character's facial features and body shapes and brought in. And it's really annoying because it's just like, that's for this movie. That character was the lead. No, literally. He literally made the exact same character look of a lead of another movie. And it was just like he fed in from everything else. And the magicalness of how he's okay. Next time we're together, that we have like a long period, I'm gonna make you watch Howl's Moving Castle, because it's the greatest piece of. Yes, you're gonna love it.
You just went off on how horrible it was.
No,
Why
not
do I have to
Boy
watch
and
it?
the Heron. No.
What's
I'm
the
gonna
other
make you
one?
watch Howl's Moving Castle.
I've heard of that.
Okay, it's amazing. Anywho's,
okay.
So it was hard to watch, and I didn't get it. So, because it missed his whimsy, and I just didn't get it, and I was like talking to my husband about it after, and I'm like, I feel stupid. I don't get the movie. So I kind of want to also rewatch it to see if I can pick up on anything. but it was just hard. Especially when he's like one of my favorite like inspirations in this world. It was just freaking hard. So,
Season 7 of Buffy. I get you. Just how the mighty have fallen.
I also saw the new Hunger Games movie, which on the complete flip side of Boy and the Heron, Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds, or Songbirds and Snakes, something like that, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is so good. I appreciate that they kind of still took the essence of Hunger Games, but made this its entire own beast. I felt that they took and aged backwards the world and the like costumes and the way of the people so much. Because, we're talking like this is, 30, 40 years before Hunger Games is made.
So this is a prequel?
Yeah. So have you seen Hunger Games?
Parts of the first movie?
Do you remember like the big like Donald Sutherland character in it? He had the white hair and he's like the one controlling everything.
I thought that was Will Ferrell.
No.
Who am I thinking of? Okay.
Anyway, he's like the big bad guy in the original series. This is his prequel story.
Okay.
Which is very interesting because if you want a character study of a villain being created, this one is very, very well done.
An origin story.
His origin story is probably one of the best origin stories I've ever seen. Really? I highly recommend it as a character study for people's books.
Huh. Okay.
It is so well done. No one is a good character in a sense. It is all gray, and it is perfect. And I highly recommend it. It is really, really, really good. And just as heartbreaking as Hunger Games and just everything. I'm saying they took all the good stuff from Hunger Games. They didn't convolute too much to make little, look at this Easter egg, look at that. No. It's its own creature, which is what made it perfect. And what I think happened is it's because everyone who was involved, almost everyone who's involved with the first, series, came back. Like the screenwriter, the director, the author was also just as involved. So all the major people came back. And I think that's why they were able to produce such an amazing version.
Awesome. That sounds good.
Last thing I want to talk about. Only because I'm angry and I want to rant. But
going into the full hour, aren't we?
It's that time of year for Oscar predictions and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I start watching the Oscar movies and right now it's the predictions. It's not actually the nominees.
Yeah.
One, I'm very disappointed at what they're thinking is going to be picked. But I think it's just because it was a bad movie year all along. But I decided to watch Holdovers, which when I first saw the trailer, I was like, fuck no, I'm never going to watch this. This is not my movie. But then I got a massive score on Criticker. It was a possible Oscar. It's a prediction for the Oscars. It came streaming on Peacock. Well, there's another reason. I don't remember. There's another reason. I was like, all right, I'll give it a chance. It was shit. It was film kid movie to the point that it didn't pass the girl test. It was the shit that I thought we were getting rid of, where the boys just talk about life, and it's just about boys and their stupid privilege. And I don't go and rant about womanness, but this was stupid. It even had the naked woman in it. I'm sure the tentacles were somewhere.
I'm so lost with this entire conversation.
You gotta know what a film kid movie is, where I will educate you off this.
Okay.
It is horrible. It is. You watch this and it was like, how did they spend money on this? And then my husband decided to go and rate it higher than Barbie.
Oh.
And then I ranted on him
shade
because he was like, well, I didn't really like the movie, but I thought the cinematography and da was better. And I just sat there like, you thought the cinematography was better than Barbie? You can get past the plot of this and respect the art, but you can't get past the plot of Barbie and respect the art of Barbie? They made a whole world look plastic. For real. I went off on him. Because I get it. He watched Barbie and he said, I think it's a great piece of art, but I'm a guy, I didn't get it. Respected that. But you're going to rate this piece of chauvinistic shit higher than Barbie?
Maybe it appealed to the chauvinistic male buried deep within. I don't know.
Don't worry, I threatened him enough and he changed his rating.
This reminds me of when I went to go see Annihilation with my husband, and I came out of the theater yelling, "This is visionary!" And my husband's like, "This is flaming hot garbage." And we were just arguing the entire ride home.
I agree with your husband.
What? Visionary! I stand by it. All right,
coming from
continue with your holdovers.
You cannot, you have no say.
I will throw down with you over Annihilation.
I will throw down with you over No, wait, which one did we? Oh, Atonement. That's our Roman Empire. That's my recap. That's my vent session. And I highlighted this next question, so you better have thought about it.
Shit.
What was your favorite movie from last year?
You did not highlight that. I did not see that.
That is, I'm looking right at it. It is highlighted.
It is not. I did not see anything about content in the notes anyway. Did I not scroll down far enough?
I clearly didn't.
I didn't scroll. I was wondering where they were, and oh, there we are. Okay. Well then, everyone.
Friends, listeners, we are now recording in the same time zone, which means we are raving lunatics about this time.
Okay. In my defense, I saw these notes an hour before we started recording, so I was a little flustered.
I'll try to make them sooner.
Okay. But I don't know what my highest rated movie was because I didn't watch a lot of new movies. I don't even know what's coming out in theaters.
Oh. Okay.
And I liked Barbie, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
It was good, but I don't really know what else is out there. Spirited was really good. That was from 22 though.
Definitely. But you watched it.
I watched
said, what was your
Spirited.
highest rated movie? It didn't have to be new. I said, what was your highest movie? Like, what was your favorite movie from the year?
I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna pass. Pass on this one. What's your highest rated movie?
Well, I use Criticker, which actually I can rate, and it like gives rating suggestions, everything. So I was actually able to go look through what I rated for 2023, and I actually had 3 movies tied at 90 point. Like I gave it a 90.
Mm-hmm.
I had one movie beat them all, but it was a documentary, so I don't really count that for this.
Okay.
And I had it tied with Spider-Man Across the Universe, The Amazing Spider-Man, I think actually is what it's called. Barbie, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Didn't see that one either. I heard good things.
Be prepared. You need tissues for all of them.
Is that the one that had the screaming goats? No, that because I saw that one. Or was
no,
that Thor?
was the Thor movie.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know they make a screaming goat ornament? I got one for my friend. It's fantastic. Okay.
So that was what I rated, which I was surprised. It was funny because 2022, I thought it was going to be Don't Worry Darling for the longest time. And then Babylon like sneaked in, which also, side story, funny thing, in my drive across country, we actually, because you saw Don't Worry Darling, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So on our drive, we actually passed the architectural building that she goes to that's circular with all the mirrors around it that like takes her. We passed the actual filming location.
Oh, that's really cool.
I know. I was like, oh my God, that's what it's like this famous architectural building. So
I thought they made it for like the movie. I didn't know it was a real building. That's really awesome.
That is there. It was already there.
Okay.
Well, friends, that is our recap. Hopefully we steered you either towards good shit or away from bad shit. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. We're crazy.
Indeed. And we don't scroll all the way down to the bottom of the pages and see things we're supposed to before recording.
But to remind everyone, because it's the new year, and in case you got out of the habit of it, don't forget, last Thursday of the month is our book club. We're reading Lone Woman by Victor Laval. And don't forget, you can get the book through our affiliate links in the show notes from bookshop.org, which means you're not buying it through Amazon. We get a small kickback at no cost to you, which is great. It helps support us in what we're doing. But again, thank you for listening to The Dark Side of the Word, a podcast for all the dark story lovers. If you're listening to us on YouTube, then please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We're also a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart. Make sure to follow us and check out our weekly polls and questions if you're listening on Spotify. We'd also love a review. Leaving a review on our page is the equivalent of tipping your waiter. Thank you so much, friends, and bye!
Wait!
Whoa, what?
It's Lone Women. Because I didn't get a chance to correct it on your notes because I didn't scroll all the way down on this portion.
What?
It's Lone Women, not Woman. Because I didn't scroll down, so I didn't know there was another section to correct. So, Lone Women by Victor Laval, not Lone Woman.
I'm sorry.
Just letting you know.
I'm sorry. And with that, bye, friends.